Now, KCAU 9 News starts with your forecast first.
Good Friday afternoon, everyone. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley here, and again, a very, very cold day. Temperatures outside below zero right now. -3 in Sioux City and Wayne, as well as Yankton. -8 in Storm Lake right now. 5 degrees below zero in Cherokee. Spencer at -4, so it's below zero all throughout Siouxland, and temperatures are only going to drop here overnight. Satellite radar showing snow in southern Siouxland, slowly beginning to move north and east. So I do expect some snow here in the next few hours in Sioux City, and as you head north a little bit later tonight. I'll have details on that snow and what the weekend is looking like coming up in the 9 on 9 forecast. KCAU 9 News at 5 starts right now.
We are Zooland proud. This is KCAU 9 News at 5.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Sophie Erber. It is day 4 in the impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. Today, Trump's defense attorneys arguing that the former president did not encourage that January 6th riot at the Capitol. Washington correspondent Rashad Hudson has the latest for us now in our top story at 5.
In an effort to demonstrate hypocrisy, former President Donald Trump's legal team used a lengthy video montage of Democrats also using fiery language.
We have been fighting.
I was fighting very hard. Time is of the essence, both in terms of the fight.
During their presentation, his attorney said Trump never encouraged rioters to attack the Capitol.
The president's remarks explicitly encouraged those in attendance to exercise their rights peacefully
and used more video to try to make their point. Trump's attorney David Schoen said the impeachment process has treated the former president unfairly.
You get more due process than this when you fight a parking ticket.
Wisconsin Republican Senator Ron Johnson found the presentation persuasive.
The president's lawyers blew the House manager case out of the water. They legally eviscerated them.
Indiana Senator Mike Braun says he shares the defense's concerns and doesn't believe the current proceedings are even constitutional.
This is a political exercise called a trial with none of the normal rules underpinning it.
Friday morning, President Biden briefly weighed in on the looming vote.
I'm just anxious to see what my Republican friends do with it.
The trial is expected to continue throughout the weekend. In Washington, Rashad Hudson.
South Dakota Democrats tonight calling on the Speaker of the House to require masks in that chamber. This comes after 4 lawmakers have tested positive this week for COVID-19. Right now, masks are, quote, encouraged but not required in the House. While Democrats say a mask requirement will keep everyone at the Capitol safe, the Speaker says it's not needed.
We have increased testing, we have increased a few protocols, and we are at the heels of a 4-day weekend, which should give everybody an opportunity to rest up and decide what they need to do for their own personal responsibility.
When you have legislators getting sick with COVID because they've been exposed to other people who are exposed to COVID, that is proof that we need to enforce proper mitigation efforts here in our state capitol.
Democratic Representative Erin Healy also disagreeing with the House Speaker over the upcoming President's Day holiday. She thinks the 4-day weekend would cause further spread of coronavirus as lawmakers spend more time in their home districts. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention tonight investigating a claim of the COVID-19 vaccine contributing to a Nebraska man's death. This vaccine was listed as one of the several causes of death of a man in his late 40s. He died on January 17th after receiving his first dose. The man was a resident at a long-term care facility and had a number of pre-existing conditions. Typically, when people die from a vaccine, it is due to an allergic reaction. But today, Governor Pete Ricketts said that wasn't the case in his situation.
In this case, the person passed away 1 to 2 weeks after they had received the first dose of the vaccine. So it was not an anaphylactic reaction. And again, we've given out 165,000 doses. We have not had something like this occur yet here in the state of Nebraska, so it will be investigated.
The CDC tonight has said they are confident in the safety of the vaccine and do recommend people who are able to do so get one. Tonight, Siouxland District Health wrapping up their second public vaccination mass clinic. Roughly 3,200 residents made their way to the Tyson Event Center for the first dose this week. Now, District Health has tentatively planned additional clinics for Phase 1B residents February 24th and March 3rd. K through 12 school staff were among those who qualified this latest round. We'll hear from Bishop Hieland teachers who got their first dose and how they say this week's clinic went for them. That's coming up tonight at both 6 and again at 10. And 2 additional public clinics, again, are tentatively planned. That one we mentioned on February 24th and the other on March 3rd. Both, again, will be at the Tyson Event Center. Those appointments open up 1 week prior to the clinic date. If you'd like more information on the vaccine rollout, you can head to our website right now. The address there on your screen, SiouxlandProud.com. A Sioux City man now facing attempted murder charges in connection to an incident late last year. That ended with a SWAT team storming his garage. Police say 47-year-old Mitchell Smith fired a bow and arrow at 2 Sioux City police officers that responded to his home. That was for a domestic disturbance back in December. Now, according to court documents, after firing those arrows, Smith then barricaded himself in his garage. The Sioux City SWAT team was eventually called in, and tear gas was used to flush him out. Smith was arrested and taken to Mercy One Medical Center for self-inflicted wounds. A warrant was issued for his arrest last week, and he was picked up Thursday afternoon. He's currently being held on a $100,000 bond. Another headline tonight, our weather again. Meteorologist Marcus Beasley returns to tell us that it seems like most of Siouxland is experiencing sub-zero temperatures right now, and I don't even think the sun's gone down yet.
That's right. It's been below zero all day long for most of Siouxland, and it's just going to get colder overnight tonight, and it looks like we'll add some snow to the mix as well. High temperatures today throughout Siouxland, again, staying below zero all throughout the region. From north to south, east to west, temperatures all day today ranging from around -1 to -5 degrees or so. So it has been very cold all day long. Overnight tonight, expect those temperatures to stay fairly steady in the below zero department, right around -1 to -10 or so tonight. We'll drop down to -4 in Sioux City, 7 degrees below zero expected in Lamar's and Cherokee. So those clouds out there are actually going to keep temperatures steady overnight tonight. Wind chill advisories, though, going into effect at midnight tonight and staying until noon on Saturday for all of Siouxland. So we're expecting wind chills to drop down to -25 to -30. I'll have more details on what the rest of the weekend's looking like and next week as well coming up in the 9 on 9. Sophie?
All right, thanks, Marcus. Ahead of that snow, we already have one snow emergency declared. The city of South Sioux City announcing today a snow emergency goes into effect tonight, extending through Saturday at 6 in the morning. During a snow emergency, South Sioux residents are not allowed to park on snow emergency routes, and any vehicles found parking on the street where snow emergency signs are posted could be towed at the owner's expense. With temperatures like we're experiencing now, it's a good week to stay inside where it's warm. But that's not an option for people who work outside. And of course, that includes postal workers like Joshua Nichols, who delivers mail in Sioux Falls. He walks about 6 miles every day, rain or shine, and he has a couple of simple tips for beating the cold.
Dress accordingly and layers, and you know, if you can keep your hands warm and your feet, you know, and your core, that's your biggest things you need to concentrate on.
The Postal Service provides carriers with items such as grips for their shoes and hand and toe warmers. Well, tax season officially is underway now, and the IRS is going to begin accepting and processing 2020 tax returns. It is a late start after the IRS said it needed more time to make changes because of the tax laws surrounding that second stimulus bill. Now, the agency requests that people do file their taxes electronically because of a backlog in paper filing. That will help you get your refunds faster. Stimulus checks do not have to be repaid, but they might impact the amount of your refund. Many people who worked from home in 2020 because of the pandemic likely will not be able to get write-offs for resulting expenses.
The IRS did away with employee business expenses a couple of years ago, and so unfortunately that hasn't changed with COVID.
This year's tax filing deadline is still April 15th. One Siouxland nonprofit organization has quickly adapted to the pandemic's limitations to keep their classes afloat. Leadership Siouxland is a community leadership development program that has been in operation for 37 years throughout the tri-state area. The program has had more than 1,000 participants, and they all gain leadership skills, knowledge, and diversity, along with giving back to Siouxland organizations through community development projects. But because of the pandemic, the 9-month program has mainly gone online.
And this year we have changed our focus, and instead of doing projects, we're spending a little bit more time on really developing leadership skills, and we've created what we call connection circles, which allows our class participants the opportunity to still meet in small groups and learn from each other.
The next session begins in September. Leadership Siouxland is beginning to accept applications for their next session. We have a link on our website, SiouxlandProud.com, if you would like to get involved.